Republican from Michigan. He, too, is sponsoring this measure, co-sponsoring, I should say. Congressman, thanks so much for being with us, sir. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. No one's ever accused Congressman LaCharette of being William Wordsworth.
Yeah. I don't even think I want to quote what he just said. We'll leave it at that. What do you want to know with this measure? What do you want it to do? What is it about? What do you want from Geithner?
I think in many ways it's in fairness to Secretary Geithner that we're acting. I am not calling for his resignation. I think that would be premature and unjust. Secretary Geithner has not been accused of any malfeasance.
Right.
What we want to do is get to the resolution of America's great whodunit. Who was in the room that put this orphan amendment approving and protecting the AIG bonuses into the stimulus bill?
Do you think that this is an important question I want to ask you. Do you think that Timothy Geithner may have done this either A, as an oversight, or B, he knew it was there, but he thought it would be a political spitball, so he didn't want it out there?
Well, first, we don't know that Secretary Geithner was the one who demanded that it be put in. That's part of the reason for a resolution of inquiry. I don't want to jump to conclusions. But what we do know from the testimony of Mr. Liddy yesterday is AIG was very worried that absent these retention bonuses, they would lose, quote-unquote, talent that could then cause a collapse of what they're trying to do, which is a slow unwinding of AIG. So when you start to think about this as a matter of deliberate policy, you know that these bonuses are coming. You don't want the public to be outraged, but you also don't want Congress to stop them, lose the talent, and have a crisis at AIG again. So it does make sense why it would be put in. What we can figure out, though we have a motive, is who was the culprit.
Ed Liddy said yesterday to you and everyone else, look, the most important thing here is saving the economy. And we may have to take this as a loss to do that. In fact, I think we have. Do we have that sound, Roger? Let's play it.
Payments were made to employees in the financial products unit that caused many of AIG's problems. And Americans are asking quite simply, why pay these people anything at all? Here's why. I'm trying desperately to prevent an uncontrolled collapse of that business. This is the only way to improve AIG's ability to pay taxpayers back quickly and completely, and the only way to avoid a systemic shock to the economy that the U.S. government help was meant to relieve.
So here's the money question to you. Given what you just heard him say, and given that there's another $250 billion or so that's got to be given out in TARP funds, are you angry enough about this thing, or might you get angry enough about this thing that you and other Republicans will decide, you know what, we're not giving this administration another penny?
Well, I was the first member of Congress to oppose the Wall Street bailout because I thought it was bad to act out of anger or in a crisis. That's usually when you get bad legislation. As for Mr. Liddy, the problem is he's a good man who made a bad decision, but he didn't make this alone. And we want to find out who in conjunction that he made this with. In the end, his job is to restore not simply liquidity or viability to AIG, which I don't believe is possible. It is to restore the public's confidence in these failed institutions. That is what we need to come back in the recession. And this decision actually was counterproductive to doing that.
Congressman, failed is the key word here. So let me come back at you with this, sir, respectively. Would you be willing to let the American banking system fail, as Mr. Liddy seems to be implying, and the president as well, by the way, that will happen if we don't back this thing now, especially since we're already halfway in?
No, that's why constructive solutions have been put forward to get rid of the zombie banks that are insolvent. It is not a problem of liquidity, it is insolvency. You can take them, take the healthy parts of the banks, let them operate, wall off their quote-unquote toxic assets, do debt for equity swaps. There are a lot of ways to resolve this without leading to more chaos in people's economic lives. But to simply continue to pump them up and hope that the market catches up to them, we think that that's a bad decision to make, and it's unfair to taxpayers.
Thad McCotter, Congressman, thank you so much, sir, for taking time to take us through this and take the tough questions.
Thank you.